Arsenal have gone ahead to make a bid or an opening offer for Jurrien Timber. 22-year-old Dutch international plays for Ajax. He made his debut into that Ajax side in the season of 2020 when Erik ten Hag was still the manager of Ajax. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, today is really a very good day, and it's a Tuesday, though in the wee hours of the morning, and it depends on where you're watching us from, but it's really late, and I found it so much sense to come in through and obviously do this story before I go to bed, because it has been a breaking story that David Austin has gone ahead to really break, and it was confirmed again by Fabrizio Romano as referring to the first call made by David Austin. Arsenal have gone ahead and really made a bid for Jurrien Timber. Smash the like button close to 300 times, because it's a breaking story that is going to excite you all Arsenal fans all over the world. Jurrien Timber, one of the most rated right-sided centre-backs, who can also play as a central defensive midfielder. He can play as a right back, he can play as a left back. So Arsenal are going to get themselves a very good footballer that is really one of those that Erik ten Hag groomed and is really technically gifted, like Zinchenko. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Let's go straight into the tweet that broke the story, coming in from David Austin, who is a news correspondent or football correspondent for The Athletic. He said, exclusive: Arsenal working on deal to sign Ajax defender Jurrien Timber. Arsenal have made an opening offer worth £30 million. Ajax want £50 million. But a compromise will be reached. Personal terms with Netherlands international thought to be in place. Now, that has been David Austin who went ahead and really broke the story that Arsenal is in for Jurrien Timber. Jurrien Timber, if at all you are not so much well conversant with him, he was the central defensive partnership or central defender partnership with Lisandro Martinez that is at Man United right now. Remember, Lisandro Martinez had Arsenal come first for him, and when he was going to Arsenal, he contacted Erik ten Hag and told him, please, manager, I'm going to Arsenal, but if at all you want me to come, I'm going to come to Man United. And that's how United hijacked the deal of Lisandro Martinez to Arsenal. And remember, Erik ten Hag had made Jurrien Timber his first choice centre-back last summer, but Jurrien Timber was threatened by Louis van Gaal towards the World Cup that if at all you go to Man United and you don't get enough playing time, I'm not going to take you to the World Cup. And he found himself in a position of even extending his contract with Ajax. Remember, in 2022, he was left with just 1 year on his contract, and he added more years on his contract with Ajax. Both of them agreed that if at all a considerable bid comes in through, he will be sold. So he's a very good player. Arsenal made a bid of £30 million, and Ajax are telling them we want £50 million for the player. And trust me, they aren't going to sell him if at all Arsenal does not raise £50 million. And I'm liking the way Arsenal are doing their business, because they're really working at a multitude of businesses, of transfers. It's really a multiple attack, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Ika Gundogan, and Jurrien Timber. Looks like they want to get these deals done at once and obviously go to America with all their transfer signings. After David Austin, Fabrizio Romano went ahead and obviously told us the latest about this story about Jurrien Timber to Arsenal. He said Arsenal want Jurrien Timber as concrete target. As David Austin reported, he's top of the list. That also includes Mo Simakan. And he concluded by saying Arsenal will not accept 30 million. Ajax will not accept 30 million pounds for Timber, as they want bigger fee. Talks will continue as players keen on the move. So Jurrien Timber is keen on the move to come and join Arsenal. Remember, he would have been playing for Man United, but it's always Gordon his chances, and now Arsenal really getting themselves a better player, because if at all Ten Hag wanted Jurrien Timber ahead of Lisandro Martinez, it shows you that Jurrien Timber is a better football player than Lisandro Martinez, because Erik ten Hag has been seeing these players for a very, very long time, and let no one lie to you that he is not really made to get in the best of the best from the players of Ajax, and that's why he chose Jurrien Timber over Lisandro Martinez. So as it stands, Arsenal are getting themselves a very good defender. He's 22 years of age. As I told you, that Mikel Arteta is not going to go in for a player who is Champions League naive. He has played in 3 sets of Champions Leagues for Ajax, and the first year he played for Ajax in the Champions League was in the season of 2020-2021. That's when Erik ten Hag brought him in. Then in the next season, ten Hag trusted him in the season of 2021 to 2022 and played 8 games of the Champions League. And remember, they played until the round of 16. 6 games in the group stages, and the 2 they are knocked out, I think, by Benfica. By that time, Darwin Núñez was still playing for Benfica, and he's the one who really knocked them out. And it was so much shaming that when they are playing in Portugal, the game ended 0-0, and when they came in at Ajax, they lost to Benfica by 1-0 scored by Darwin Núñez. Last Champions League, he played 6 games because they never got out of the group stages, and he played all of those games. That is Jurrien Timber for you. And in the season that they just accomplished in the Eredivisie, he played 34 games, scored 2 goals and put in 2 assists. But the beauty of this lad is that he can play as a right-sided centre-back, he can play as a right-back, he can play as a left-back, he can play in the central defensive midfield. And if at all you know how comfortable Zinchenko is on the ball, this is another baller that you're bringing in to give you balance onto that side. And Arsenal have gone ahead to realize it, that they found themselves in a situation of losing out on the trophy after losing out on William Saliba. And I think the only thing that William Saliba does better, I think it's the heading. That's it. But this boy is a better ball player than William Saliba. I'm not trying to obviously go ahead and really downplay the efforts of William Saliba, but I'm telling you the exact qualities that this boy really has. I've watched him play for Ajax, especially those last 10-15 games of Erik ten Hag at Ajax. I've watched him in the Champions League in the 2021 season, 2022, and that of 2020-2023. And he's really a very good player. That is Jurrien Timber. And Arsenal have gotten themselves a very good player, young in age, that's going to come in through and obviously take on the likes of the likes of Ben White, Tomiyasu. There is William Saliba, Ben and Zinchenko. He's really going to be a very versatile player, and what a signing for Arsenal that is coming in through to come in and really bless the day. And where does this leave other transfers, especially those of Sikimakaman, and the right backs? Because you cannot go ahead and really sign a right back after getting a right full back, after getting in Jurrien Timber, who can play as a right back, he can play as a right-sided centre back. I think Arsenal have gone ahead to kill close to 3 birds with 1 stone. When he plays as a right back, oh my God, he's a joy for the eye to watch. Central defense, he's really great. Central midfield, he's a very good player. So Arsenal getting themselves a bargain, and there were links of him going to Liverpool, but they are downplayed by Fabrizio Romano that Liverpool has no concrete interest in Jurrien Timber. But one of the things that David Austin has gone ahead to talk about is that looks like personal terms are already in place between these 2 sides. That is Jurrien Timber and Arsenal. But on the 3rd of June, it will be remembered that this lad attended the FA Cup finale between Man United and Man City, and he was in London, and everyone was asking himself, what is Jurrien Timber doing in London? This is the lad. And I think this is the day that him and his entourage or representatives met the side of Arsenal and got this deal over the line. Because what was so special of him coming in London? Because Erik ten Hag was not interested in him, because United turned its efforts to one else. It was Kim Min-jae, Disasi, and very many others. That's where United are really targeting. And we are so much inquisitive about his traveling to London by then, and that is Jurrien Timber. I see him here arriving at Wembley to watch the game, and we are told by a certain Dutch journalist known as Frederick A. Vilfedet that here is former Ten Hag player Jurrien Timber at Wembley today in attendance of Man United vs Man City Cup final. Ajax rejected multiple approaches from Man United for Timber deal last summer. Current contract expires in 2025. That is Jurrien Timber for you. So he was in London on the 3rd, and let no one lie to you that he arrived on the 3rd. That means he was in London for some days, and I believe that that's when the deal between him and Arsenal really happened, and they agreed personal terms, and now Arsenal have gone ahead to launch a bid in there for you. Now, lastly, let me show you exactly what this lad had to say about his future at Ajax just a week or 2 weeks back. He said, I think it's like 8 days back, he said, will I stay at Ajax anyway? I'm not sure. I cannot say that. I'm not in talks with Ajax now. My agent had a good talk a few times, but it's not like we are talking about anything right now. So he told the Vendeg inside. So that is Jurrien Timber for you, and Arsenal getting themselves a bargain. And now, I know the big question is going to come in from Arsenal fans. That's Rokani. What is the aim of Arsenal? Is their aim to go on and really bid, get the bid rejected, and obviously pull out? Because they went ahead and made the first bid of Declan Rice. It was rejected, and the second bid is really pending. Then they did that to Kai Havertz. First bid rejected. Second bid incoming. Though it said that this week they're going to get the deal of Kai Havertz over the line. And when they went to Ajax, they've put that of £30 million, and they've told them that they want £50 million. I really understand your frustrations as Arsenal fans, but I understand Arsenal have a budget, but they know that they should get Jurrien Timber. They know a real amount of money they should get Jurrien Timber for. And that's what I told Arsenal on the deal of Declan Rice, because when you look at Ajax, they've come out and stood firm that for him, we want £50 million. That's it. And what has gone ahead to contribute to this? Players like Anthony, Cody Gakpo, Lisandro Martinez, who come from the Eredivisie, have come into the Premier League and obviously done wonders. And now everyone is no longer worried about Eredivisie players in the Premier League market, because before Ten Hag came in through and really brought Lisandro Martinez in, everyone was afraid of the Eredivisie market. But he has made a lot of clarification onto how these players can come in and fit into his team. When you look at Kai Havertz, Arsenal know the real amount they're supposed to pay, and the same applies to Declan Rice. So if at all you go onto the figures that are being put out in the media, called out by the respective teams, that these players that Arsenal want to sign come from: Declan Rice £100 million, Jurrien Timber £50 million, that's 150. Then you add on another amount of money for Kai Havertz. He can go for like £60 million. That is £210 million for Arsenal so far. And what's their budget? We are told they're having £200 million as a budget minus sales, meaning that their budget can really influx to £300 million. So Jurrien Timber is really one of those that Arsenal have gone ahead to put a bid in, and let's wait and see how that's going to pan out. And I understand tomorrow it's really going to be one of the most talked about points right here onto the Rokani Media Football, because Arsenal has shown a very wide scouting muscle, and they've gone ahead to surprise us with another bid of Jurrien Timber. So thank you very much for watching. To tell me your thoughts about Arsenal submitting a bid or an opening bid for Jurrien Timber. It has been rejected by Ajax. They want £50 million for the 22-year-old Dutch international. What do you make about everything I've said about Jurrien Timber and Arsenal submitting in an opening bid for the Dutch international? I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. I'm out for now. Bye-bye.